Are you looking for a podcast about heading on down to the hangar hole?
Well, then you must be thinking of another podcast.
Oh!
Oh!
Taylor! Oh, Ma. Who's here? Who's with
You
me?
have me. It's me.
Oh, God.
Your new co-host.
Goblin Kelsey.
Goblin Kelsey from the Booniverse.
Oh, my God.
What if I came back and I
Hello.
talked like that? Hello.
You know what? Everybody that, if I tell a story about somebody and I talk like how they talk,
Uh-huh.
I always give people, like, the weirdest voices. And that's pretty close to how I give Haley's voice.
Oh my god.
Every time, like, I'm telling a story, and I'm like, you said, you were all like, you want to get a Dr. Pepper today? And she's like, when do I sound like that? And I was like, I don't know, it sound like to me, I guess.
Oh god.
But good evening, Kelsey.
Good evening, Robert.
How are you?
I am alive, thankfully.
Thankfully.
Thank you all for your patience and grace and wonderfulness. I had COVID. I still kind of have COVID. But
I mean,
I'm back.
It's kind of the gift that keeps on giving.
It truly is. I'm on day 13, and it just keeps on happening. Most of the symptoms are gone at this point. It's just, it hurts when I talk and when I laugh. And that's going to be the most of the show is talking and laughing. But
Yeah.
I couldn't miss another week. I just couldn't. I love you guys too much.
It's good for the soul.
Good for the soul. I need structure back in my week. I've been in bed for 10 days.
Yeah. That kind of sounds magical.
Oh, no. Like, if I could be in bed happy for 10 days, I
Yeah.
would do that in a heartbeat. But I've been in bed dying for 10 days.
I've actually been dreaming of just taking a week off of work to just, like, play games for, like, a solid week.
That's the dream
And
right
just,
there,
like,
man.
do nothing for a while.
You should do that. When's the last time you had a vacation like that?
I don't do those. Man.
Yeah.
Like, that. I take off just enough days to beat a game when it comes out. Like, when God of War came
Yeah.
out, I took 3 days. Like, that wasn't even a solid week.
God.
I took 2 days for Uncharted 4. I figured that was enough. Pretty much, I don't do that. Okay, you
should
really want
do
to know
that.
the last time I took days off like that?
Yeah.
Do you really want to know?
Yeah.
Podcast movement.
Oh my god.
Like, that's the last time I've had time off like that.
That's happening again soon, though.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Real soon. And
Real
then they
soon.
announced the locations for the next 2 years, by the way.
Yes.
Next, it's going to Colorado. So Denver,
Hell yeah.
Colorado. And then Washington, D.C. for 2024.
Fuck yeah. I'm so excited.
I'm more excited for the Washington one, because I always wanted to go to Washington, D.C. Which
You never
sucks,
been?
though. No. Never been
Oh.
there.
Oh man, we're gonna go. We're gonna go to the Smithsonian. We're gonna see everything.
I mean, are we, though? Because
Yeah.
we podcasted it up, like, from morning to dusk
It's true. Yeah,
on
we
the
were
daily, so I
fucking
doubt there's
typing
going to
up
be time.
profit and loss spreadsheets at midnight in the hotel room.
Well, I mean, we were also sitting there watching Steven Universe, so,
It's true.
I mean,
And then
technically we
recording
could have
a
done other
podcast.
stuff. Yeah.
That was podcast work though, because we recorded a whole podcast about that Steven Universe show.
That's true. See, we're always, like,
Always working, you guys.
my dad doesn't get that, I think. I am pretty busy all the time.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much I get off work, and I've been, like, watching some stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's been for the podcast.
I have to watch anime for homework, Dad. It's not a
And then-
phase.
And then, like, today, like, I got off work, and I went out there and was like, look, Kelsey's off work early. Like, I'm going to get a pre-jump on it. Like, I got to go get started now, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm going to shove Chef Boyardee in my gullet. Here's a little update based off of our opener.
Okay.
I've still yet to put the hanger on my head. So I don't know about the hanger
Oh.
hole stuff yet. I haven't done it.
I did it. It definitely makes me turn my head toward the hook side. I don't know if that's the side you're supposed to turn your head toward, but that's
I
where my
don't
head
know.
goes.
I do need to try it still. I have not done
I put it on Richard's head, and he was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Didn't do anything to him.
Totally nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. So here, since that's your hypothesis, I'm gonna close my eyes and have Taylor put it on my head, but that way
Yeah.
I don't know which way the hook is, and we'll just see what happens.
Just see what happens.
I'm going to try to just, like, go loosey-goosey, right? And just see what happens.
Just go with the flow, man. Let your spine do its thing.
Yeah, we'll try.
It's been a bad couple of weeks.
I mean, yeah. I mean, for you particularly.
For me particularly, yeah. I mean, well, yeah, and the world at large, but...
Well, yeah.
In my house, specifically. So, the short story, you pre-ramblers got the long story, but the short story is that Richard got COVID, and then I got COVID, and then Richard got a kidney stone.
And life was never better.
Oh, God, dude. We were in the hospital for 2 days. For the stone, not for the COVID. Although the COVID, we were in the COVID wing because we were testing positive, so you have to be relegated to the wing where people test positive for COVID.
Yeah.
But, so I just have a series of events that happened to us in the hospital that I have to tell you about. So Richard had to have kidney stone surgery, and when he woke up from it, he was feeling really dehydrated and nauseous. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how about I go get you a Gatorade? Because Gatorade makes you feel better. You know, it hydrates you. It makes you feel good. Perks you up.
Because it has what you need.
Electrolytes. It's got electrolytes. It's what the plants crave.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I will take this mission upon me. I will go get this Gatorade for you. I'll be right back.
Can I crack a drink in relation to a drink story?
Crack a spicy Gatorade.
Ooh, dude, it sprayed out the side. Beautiful.
Whoa,
oh, that was
spicy.
Like commercial-like. So I'm having to rep the Liquid Death today. Lime flavor. This is my second box, by the way.
Today?
No. yeah, today. I'm just like pounding these things.
Pounding.
Man.
All right.
Well, Gatorade. Gatorade is also yum.
It is. I love Gatorade. The blue one's the best one, right? We can all agree?
Frosted Glacier, yes.
No, Cool Blue, right?
No, yeah. Cool Blue, yeah.
Cool Blue.
See, I watched a TikTok about the whole, like, if you name Gatorade, you're a cop shit.
You're a cop,
and that's the one he said, and that's the one that was, like, in my brain because I thought of that. But, yeah, no. Everybody, forget I said that. 100% it's Cool Blue.
It's Cool Blue.
It's so Cool Blue. If you drink anything but Cool Blue, you hate life.
Yes. Okay. So, I'm on a quest for the Cool Blue. And I go downstairs because I was like, I remember there are vending machines downstairs. And I go down there and I see some vending machines and I'm like looking through them. And these vending machines have a lot of shit because hospital vending machines are like next level. Like they had
they are
stuffed animals in there. They had like chargers, like stuff.
Yeah.
And they had like one full of like toys and shit. They had one full of food, and then they had two different ones full of drinks. One of them was like, here's soda if you want to be a bad boy, and here's all the good drinks like the waters and the Gatorades and the teas. So I see the Cool Blue and I'm like, perfect, excellent, wonderful. And I look in my wallet and I'm like, oh, perfect, I have cash. And
nice.
I never had cash. I don't know where this cash came from. I think it was, I have no idea. I just had like 2 crisp dollar bills in there. So I stick them into the machine and I press the button and it's like, this Gatorade is $2.50 for a little bitty Gatorade.
Ooh, that's
fucking
bad.
Highway robbery.
Yeah.
And I was like, I will get this because my husband deserves it. But I just had the $2, and so I'm like, I've got to have another quarter in my purse here somewhere, another couple of quarters. So I'm digging around in my purse, and I find one more quarter, and I'm like, okay. And then I keep digging in the purse, and I only have $2.25 in quarters. I'm like, I bet I can find the receptionist and just cry, and she'll give me a quarter.
Okay.
So I go around the corner to the reception desk, and nobody is there. It is unmanned, and I'm like, all right. I'm just like walking around, like with my fucking $2.25 now in quarters because I had put the $2 in the machine, and then I was like, you don't have enough, and spat out all the quarters at me.
Gotcha.
And so I go back into the room at the vending machines, and I see like, oh, this machine takes cards. I'm like, great, that'll be easy. So I pull out my credit card, swipe the card, and I press the button for the Gatorade. And then after I press it, it's like, please make your selection. I'm like, well, I just did that.
Okay.
And so I press the button for the Gatorade again, and nothing happens. And I'm just sitting there, like, having a staring contest with this fucking Gatorade. Like, get out of the machine. Like, jump. And it doesn't. So I hit the cancel button, and I take my card back. I'm like, let's try it again. I just put the card back in. And then I hit the button for the Gatorade. And the machine does the exact same thing. Make your selection. So I hit the buttons again for the Gatorade. And it just sits there staring at me. And I'm like, this is fucking asinine. I just need to get a Gatorade for my husband. So I take the card back. I hit the cancel button. And I leave. And I go back to down the hallway because I'm like, I remember there's a cafe down here. They've got to have Gatorade. So I go down to the cafe. It's dinner time. I'm expecting the cafe to be full of people.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, fucking open.
A chef should be there.
I walk in and I can see, like through the way it's laid out. I'm walking into like there's like the tables that are all set up, and then there's a line that you can go around to get like grab and go stuff like sandwiches, little buckets of grapes or whatever. Okay. And fridges that are full of beverages like Gatorade. I see the cool blue. And then I see beyond this into like the kitchen area where the chefs are hustling and bustling and like doing all the stuff. Okay. And there's like no patrons in the actual dining area. There's no person standing at the register to like take transactions. The gate is fully down on one side of the grab and go section on the exit side. The entrance side, the gate is halfway down. And like, they've got to be open. It's 6 p.m. Like, it's time for dinner. Like, why are we closed? And I'm, like, peeking through the hall, like, trying to, like, make eye contact with the chefs in the back. Like, somebody come out here and serve me a Gatorade. I want to purchase a Gatorade with these quarters I have in my fist. Yeah. I can get the attention of nobody. And I'm like, well, if nobody's going to be fucking looking at me, I'm just going to go take a Gatorade. So.
Why not?
I just duck under the gate. I duck under the gate, and I didn't want to steal from a hospital as much as they're fucking nickel and diming us for the shit they did to us in there. I didn't want to steal from them. Okay. So I have this fistful of quarters. I have another fistful of Gatorade. I go in there. I grab the Gatorade. I skedaddle on out, and I'm like, I'm going to leave this stack of quarters here on the counter.
Throw it on the floor.
I just left this this 225 fistful on the counter, ran back upstairs with Gatorade, and I get back up there, and as I'm riding in the elevator, I get this message to my phone. It's like, $30 transaction is processed at vending machine. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I get another one. It's like, a $30 transaction has processed at the vending machine. I'm like, what is happening at the vending machine where I swipe my card twice and punched in the Gatorade numbers 4 times?
Oh my god. So
at this point, I was like, I've paid $62.25 for this one Gatorade. And I'm kind of over it. So I just went back upstairs and gave him the Gatorade, and I was like, here's your Gatorade. I got it in a totally normal fashion that you don't ever need to know about.
Oh, I thought you were going to go, here's the Gatorade, I'll be right back. And then you cleaned out the supply because you were like, God. I paid for them.
I wanted to go back down and see if the Gatorades had shot out of the vending machine, but at the same time, I was like, I don't think they did. I think that my card just got charged. And I ended up looking at the transactions in my bank, and they never actually went through. It was just like a hold on the card. So I was like, thank fucking God. I wasn't about to pay $60 for this Gatorade.
$30 holding for a fucking vending machine? Dude?
Criminal. I was upset.
Like, everyone I've done, they hold $1. Yeah. And then you buy what you want. They give you $1, and then they charge you $1.25 or whatever the fuck.
Right. I don't know who's spending $30. I guess because they have, like, chargers and stuffed dragons and stuff.
I was going to say, is it because it's a hospital and they're like, well, people don't usually leave. They're making meals, so let's go ahead and just assume they're buying $30 in meals.
Right.
Out of granola bars.
It was a wild time, but we got the Gatorade. It was all fine in the end.
Jeez, and for sure the transactions never went through. He didn't spend $60.
Confirmed.
Okay. I would have been... Because you've had the COVIDs.
I had the COVIDs.
I know you would probably be too tired to fight it. You would just be like, let it. I just lost
literally.
It's fine.
At this point, I was like, fine. I don't even care if this Gatorade was $60. I'm going to walk back upstairs and hand it to my husband.
Oh, man. That's the worst.
Yeah. It's been a wild time. That's That's all the words that I have for it. Like, it's just been bad.
The past 2 weeks have sounded like you tripped on like a tiny rock, but as you started to gain your footing, you stumbled on a bigger rock, and then like you stumbled again, and you're in a constant state of falling forward, but you haven't quite fallen all the way.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it. If I could give one piece of advice to the people of the world, it's don't get COVID. That's what I want to tell you. Don't get it. I am sad that it finally infiltrated our household after 2 years, and
my advice was
to deal with it.
Always pack Gatorade.
Always pack Gatorade. Don't get COVID.
Make sure you have Cool Blue in the trunk at all times.
Gotta have that emergency Cool Blue supply.
Yeah.
Just put one in your first aid kit.
Dude, you're gonna make me go buy one tomorrow. I'm gonna do
good
that
shit.
on the clock, man. I'm just gonna be I'll be back. Gotta go to the gas station.
We have the powder in our pantry that you like mix up. Oh, it's like on tap, dude. We keep that shit on hand.
I know, like, we've discussed that I like playing with the idea of like video recordings and stuff. So like,
yeah.
We're looking at each other, but like my face, I was like excited.
That's the right reaction.
That makes me think of Mr. Deeds, where he has the water fountain and he's like, "Guys, fruit punch." Mine would be Cool Blue, 100%.
100%.
Well, I'm glad at least you got one, even if it was a tiny one.
Yeah. Stupid Gatorade. While we were down with COVID, we did have time to revisit some video games.
Okay.
We've been replaying the Danganronpa series because it just hit Xbox Game Pass.
Okay.
It's been a good time. Like, it's one of those games where, like, I kind of remember it. Like, I remember who gets killed and who did the killing, but I don't remember who did what, and I don't remember how it went down.
Yeah, like not the intricacies. Like,
yeah.
Remember the big plot points.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like you should play these games, man. You would really like them. I want to.
Like, everything I've ever heard has sounded like I would like them.
Yeah, I know you're not, like, huge on the visual novel, but this is so engaging. It's almost like a horror game. Like, the feeling of dread that you get.
Yeah.
It's good. It's creepy.
But see, this is my problem. I want to play that. But the way that sounds, I want to play that in bed. My computer is not in bed. Like, yeah. I really don't want to sit in, like, this office chair and room just to play that game. Like, I feel like I would want to, like, indulge in that game and, like,
yeah.
Oh, what is going to happen next? But I want to do that, like, in bed, like, have covers and, like, be into it.
That's the way to do it.
So, like, that's how I feel like I'd want to. So I'm like, I don't know that I'm going to play it sitting in here.
Yeah. It's so good. The story is amazing. Every character is great. Like, it's got the standard anime visual novel horniness that you just have to get around with every single visual novel, but it's really, really good. Monokuma is, like, one of the top 10 characters of all time, honestly. And some of those cases, like case 4, I know specifically, like, your mind is going to be like, okay. It's so good. Like, the first 2 cases pretty standard. The third case is like, oh, this is interesting. Case 4 is like, what's happening and why? So
I actually was sitting in here the other day, and I have a bunch of Game Pass games downloaded to the computer. And I was like, I don't have time to, like, play Forza right now, because that's like a big open world drive around and find stuff kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't want to play Gears. That's another big game. I was like, well, this is a little tiny one. I'm going to mess with this one. So I started My Friend Pedro, which is by Devolver Digital.
Yeah.
All
I think we've talked about this one, but we've never played it, right?
Yeah, that's the dude that, like, his friend's a banana and he shoots the people and, like, it's called, like, a ballet of bullets or something.
Okay.
It was fun. I mean, like, fun enough. Like, I played it for, like, 20 minutes maybe. Just to, like, kill, like, a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And it's neat. But after playing it in here, I've been in the room, so it's like, well, I don't have it in here, so I guess I'm not playing it no more.
Yeah.
So I haven't touched it again, but Game Pass has, like, nice stuff on there, though.
It's got good stuff. Like, Game Pass.
I still need to finish A Plague Tale.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have a bunch of games downloaded to the computer from Game Pass to play that I'm not touching, but I'm keeping them on the side, though.
Gotta keep them.
Like, I'm hoarding them.
Gotta hoard.
That's
what you do best.
I'm ready. I'm staring at them right now. They're, like, right on the side of the screen. I've got...
right next to Undertale.
Well, no, that's over there because that's a Steam one.
Is that with the letter?
Yeah.
Storing all the games that Kelsey has told you to play.
I've got Baba's You, Doki Doki, but I played that one though.
Yeah.
The Letter, Papers, Please, Phasmophobia, Return of the Obra Dinn.
That's a good fucking... You've played that game, right?
No, I've never touched it.
Oh, it's so good.
I know. And that's one that I even told you about when it was coming out. Because
Yeah.
I was so excited. But, like, I don't have time for that.
There's a game we talked about
Undertale.
in Friday Roundup called Eternal Threads that has just come out.
Mm-hmm.
It has a very Return of the Obra Dinn vibe.
Yeah.
Not in art style, but in the gameplay.
See, art style is what drew me to Obra Dinn.
Oh, yeah, the art style is
Yeah.
what puts Obra Dinn over the edge. Like, it is a fucking cool, pretty game. Like, I loved it. It's so unique.
Yeah.
But Eternal Threads, it operates in the same way that you're kind of moving, like, in between present and past, and you're trying to actually change the events of the past so that you can reconnect these people and, like, have them all not die.
Yeah.
It operates in the same way.
I need you to see a movie because of that one. I know I talked about it in the thing. I can't believe you've never seen Frequency, though. Like,
I haven't. I don't think I've heard of it.
I think Ferdin's the only person I know that's seen it. It's got the guy that played Jesus in it. Henry...
The guy that played Jesus. Winkler?
No, Henry Winkler. No, he is Jesus, man.
Hey.
Hey.
It's that jukebox and wine comes out of it. Turning tunes into wine.
I can't even think now because I'm just thinking about happy days are yours and
Yours
mine.
and my happy days.
You've never seen that show? Like,
You've never seen Happy Days?
ever, dude.
Oh my God.
I just know about I just know it.
That show was so good. Like, I remember watching that shit on Nick at Night or whatever when I was a kid. Why did they show us, like, all those shows from the fucking 50s when we were children in the 90s?
I guess that's just what they had the money to buy at the time, you know?
Yeah, it's like, we have these old shows for like $5 for the whole season.
They're like, that and Friends. Why not? There you go.
Friends.
Jim Caviezel. He's the guy that played
Who?
Jesus in Passion of the Christ.
Oh, okay. Real Jesus.
Yeah, like I feel like if I say his name, like, people are gonna remember Passion of the Christ more, even though they came out after.
Oh.
And then fucking Dennis Quaid is in this movie, dude.
Weird.
Dennis
Okay.
Quaid's great. But anyway, it's like he's grown up without his dad. His dad died when he was like 10 years old or something.
Yeah.
And he is playing with his dad's old ham radio. And he gets on and is like talking to this guy. And they're like chit-chatting and having a good time. And he realizes he's talking to his dad 30 years in the past.
Dun, dun, dun.
And they're like discussing the date and stuff. And he's like, oh, yeah, today is this day. And he's like, you die tomorrow, like, in a fire.
Oh my God.
Because his dad
imagine.
was a firefighter, right?
Okay.
So he's like, do this instead, and then you'll live, and then you'll be here. So they do that, and, like, he gets on the radio with him later, and he's like, I did what you said, like, what's life like now? And he's like, you're still not here. He's like, so something else happens, I guess. And it winds up becoming, like a fucking mystery thing of, like...
Weird.
Like, his dad gets wrapped up in a whole other thing, and it is so fucking good, dude. Like...
It sounds like I would like it.
It's a great movie. So it's time travel,
Yeah.
family stuff, mystery stuff, because it's got, like, cop drama stuff in it, too.
Ooh, it's got my shit written all over it, doesn't
Like,
it?
It's a fucking cool movie. It came out in 2000. And we just, like, happened to buy it on, like, a DVD. We just kind of saw it, and it was, like, one of my favorite movies. It's so good.
Okay, wow.
I have it downloaded. I can shoot it your way.
Okay.
But I guess speaking of that, you guys jumped my shit today, man.
We did. The
guys
Discord got
jumped
on your ass.
My shit. Well, why? Don't you
'Cause-
want me to have things?
Tell the people, Robert, how many terabytes you have just in waiting.
Okay. So,
Terabytes in waiting is what you have.
So here's the deal. I got like a 2 terabyte hard drive once
So
to
many.
like to put like movies and TV shows on that I was just gonna get, right?
Right.
I kind of filled it up and I was like, I should just get like a separate one and have like TV on that one and then just the movies on this one, right?
I can't imagine having a terabyte of content. Like, How,
Oh, dude, I was actually gonna bring the hard drives in here and show them to you,
Oh
like
my
what
God.
was on them, because TV, you don't really get a lot, because like
really?
so like I have Adventure Time on there, right?
Okay.
That one show is like 60 gigabytes, because there's 10 seasons of it. And
How
then,
many gigabytes are in a terabyte?
why would you ask me that?
I
don't
can't
know
do
that.
the math in my head.
Uh,
Numbers mean nothing to me anymore.
how many gigs in a terabyte?
Because I was
It
thinking today
is-
about iPods.
See, that's what I thought. Okay, it's like 1,000.
Okay. Did you hear, this is totally off topic, did you hear that they have, like, discontinued the iPod?
Yes,
Like, they fucking killed it?
because there's
That
Apple
hurts
Music, man.
me. I hate that. It's like, it makes me feel like a ghost. Like, we saw the rise and fall of technology. Sorry.
I feel like a ghost.
Made you do a spit take.
Demon.
Your liquid death. We used to have, like, it was the coolest fucking thing. You had, like, 32 gigabytes of music in your fucking pocket that you could just carry around with you.
Check this out, man. I got money, bought me an iPod, right?
Uh-huh.
My first computer was on Microsoft Windows ME, the Millennium Edition one. iPods wouldn't work on ME, so I had an iPod for a year before I could ever get it on my computer to put songs on it. It just
Terrible.
It just lived in the box on the side of my bed, and I'd pull it out, and it had games on it, so I could play like Brick on it and
You
stuff.
just play, like, Solitaire all alone on your
That's all I did
broken
with it. That's all I did with it for a year.
That's so sad.
And then I got a computer that had, I guess, like Windows, I don't know, whatever the fuck came after ME, like
XP?
2001.
I have no idea.
Yeah, XP. And then my iPod worked. I could put iTunes on it, and then I got all into iPods, and then that faded away as well.
iPods are so cool.
I still have mine.
I think I still have mine too. It's like the thick ass black one. It's so heavy.
Yeah, that's the one I got, man.
Yeah, it's
That's
a
the
good
cool
iPod.
one.
I like. It's not that I remember the smell of my iPod, but like I associate a certain smell with the iPod, and I don't know what it is. It's just like I hear the word iPod, and a scent comes into my nose.
That's weird.
It's very weird.
I'm trying to think of what my smell for it would be, and I don't know. I'm really mad that I didn't bring hard drives in here before the show, so I could show you stuff.
We should have had show and tell. It's been so long since we've seen each other.
I mean, this is like a recording that I can cut time out.
It's true.
And go
When
grab
you get
one?
them.
I mean, I'll grab one.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll show you shit.
Show me shit.
Hey, guess what?
Hey, what?
Right here.
They've been behind you the whole time.
Yeah, they're
God damn it, Robert.
Taylor goes, aren't they in the game room? And I was like, I don't know, maybe. All right.
You're a mess.
All right, so here we go. I had this one that is, it doesn't say, but I'm pretty sure it's 2 terabytes.
Okay. That's like small. Like not it's physically small in your hand. Like
Yeah.
I expected it to be like the size of a book.
No, like, so these aren't like external. Okay, let's go back.
Okay.
I started with like a giant terabyte one that like you had an external power source for. So like
Yeah.
I had to like plug it into the wall
Okay.
and then plug it into like my old PlayStation 3 when I would watch shit on there, right?
Okay.
Well, then I found these. I mean, they are small. They fit in your hand. They're powered.
Yeah, it's like iPod sized.
Yeah, they're powered solely by the USB cord. So you just plug it into a PlayStation, plug it into your TV, and you just fucking watch the shit. So
Okay.
it's easy. And I mean, they're not even that thick. Like these
Yeah,
aren't
it's-
huge. So think this is taking hundreds of Blu-rays off of a shelf. Like this is a lot more of a time or space save rather. So
Yeah,
I thought this
but
was
the
a good
thing
idea.
Is, you're still gonna get the Blu-rays.
On some of them. On
Okay.
some of them. So I had this one, and it was TVs and movies. And it was getting
Okay.
filled up pretty fast. So I was like,
Crazy.
well, the TV one's not that important to me because I don't watch a lot of TV. So let's take TV and move it to just some little cheap one. And this
Okay.
was just like 1 terabyte, and it took me a long time to fill this one. The movie one's not even close to full. The TV one's tapped out now. because anime got brought into the equation.
Oh, no. You should have a separate hard drive for anime.
I do need to do that. And then there
I'm
was
not
a sale.
advocating that you purchase another hard drive, though, because I know you
I'm
have too
going
many
to
Roberts.
like consolidate.
God damn it.
So then I got this one because it was on sale one day and 4K had just become a thing. And I was like,
Okay.
well, 4K movies are roughly 8 times the size of like a 1080p one that goes on this one.
Okay.
So I was like, I would fill this up so fast if I were getting like 4K movies. So I got a 4 terabyte one for 4K movies.
Jesus Christ.
This one literally has almost nothing on it. Like, it's for the biggest files, but there's not a lot of things that like I wanted in 4K that I didn't just buy or that I want to begin with because they don't look that good in 4K.
Yeah.
So I only download like what would be like a visual, like, just mind explosion.
Okay.
Like, if it's one that like I don't want to buy, but it's like a 5 out of, like, you have to see this in 4K,
Okay.
I'll download the 4K. If it's like, it looks alright, well then I'll just get 1080p, save the space.
Yeah.
So I guess which one you want to look at?
I mean, show me what you got.
I want to show you the TV one, because that one is not... I think you're going to be surprised how much space TV shit takes up.
Is it easy to transfer between those two things? Like, if you wanted to swap your TV and your movie hard drives, you just plug them both in and drag and drop?
Yeah, but then it just becomes... So, actually, remember, I was going to get a new CPU.
Right.
I was like, ooh, that would help when I, like, copy stuff to these things. I was like,
Yeah.
that might help a lot. It doesn't help.
Okay.
Copying and putting stuff to hard drives like this is pretty much bottlenecked by your USB speed. So, like, these are all USB 3 compatible things.
Yeah.
But if you plug it into a USB 2 port, you're going to go at the speeds of the older format.
Right.
So you're really bottlenecked by, can I plug this into a thing that allows the fastest speed? Your CPU plays no part.
Oh.
So the, like, hour and a half it took me to do some 4K ones the other day, a new CPU wouldn't have helped.
Well,
But
the reason we jumped your shit... Yeah, here we go. We jumped your shit because you have all these things, but, like, you're not watching them, right?
so the movies I've seen most of if I've downloaded it.
But, like, why do you keep them? Do you want to watch them again?
I watch a lot of movies again.
I know you do, but, like, do you watch 2 terabytes of movies again?
Sometimes.
Oh my god.
Well, like, I got all the Friday the 13th movies that I've
Okay.
never seen, and I'm, like, finally making my way through them. That's how I watched all the Fast and the Furious movies. I had,
Okay.
like, downloaded them. I hadn't watched them. But then, like, when I got to it, I did. I'm not going to get rid of them, because what if you want to be like, here's this stupid scene of The Rock. You want to see how dumb he looks in this scene?
Instead of going to YouTube and looking for the scene, you're going to be like, let me pull up the entire movie. I remember the timestamp for this scene.
As we discussed in our Full Metal thing, people don't screen grab all the things you want to see.
It's true, yeah.
So you're left wanting sometimes.
We just reviewed Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood for our patrons in our Zeitgeist review for the month of May.
Yeah.
And we spent like an hour plus gathering like a PowerPoint presentation
things for you to see.
And it was hard to find a lot of the moments we wanted to talk about. Like, shockingly difficult to find GIFs or even stills of these moments that were like, this is an important moment in the show. You'd think that all the weebs out there would be like gifting it, you know?
Yeah, you'd think. So, as I stated there, that's going to be like one of my weird missions. Like, I'm going to be that guy online that's gifing the entirety of Full Metal Brotherhood.
It's the personal mantle you've taken upon yourself.
I mean, isn't that how all great things start? Somebody's like, I will accomplish this.
I guess.
That's how it goes. So, this is my TV one. Go into your TV shows. These are all the TV shows that I have.
This is so much.
So, like, I have Full Metal Brotherhood on here. And
you have Parasite as well.
It is 19 gigabytes for the full thing.
Okay.
Adventure Time up here. That's like, 10 seasons.
Wow.
That is 149 gigabytes. So actually 1/10 of the overall drive is taken up by Adventure Time alone.
My God, do you want Adventure Time like that?
Yes! Adventure Time
my
is
God.
so good. Like, well, so I had, like, really crappy ones. I actually just deleted what I had because I got full-blown 1080p, no watermark stuff on them.
Okay.
So, like, the ones I had before had, like, TVY or whatever on the top, So
Yeah.
it wasn't as good. So I got nicer ones. And I actually did that with Steven Universe not too long ago, too. Steven takes up 67 gigabytes.
Wow.
My Little Pony takes up 147.
Oh my God.
So that's also, like, another, like, insanely big one.
That's nuts, dude.
And so here's the thing. When I get them, too, they come looking, like, really weird. And I, like, meticulously name all of these files.
My
as
God.
Well. This is
This
probably
is a curated library.
This is like hundreds of hours of work put into like making this look this way. Like that's not even a lie.
I can respect the fact that you have done this because I know it means a lot to you to gather all these things like this and have them in order
And
just ready to grab whenever you need.
yeah, and I have deleted quite a few.
Okay.
Because like I've downloaded a show that like somebody was like, I would like to see that. It's like Taylor wanted to watch Miracle Workers, right?
Okay.
And the newest season wasn't around, so like in this, I only have that one season that she wanted to see.
Okay.
I may not keep this
14
one.
gigabyte season.
Yeah, I may not keep it, or I might get the other two if it's. I mean that show's pretty funny. That one might be worth having around. But then I watch like these videos like the top 10 like gruesome animes to see or whatever, right?
Yeah, and then you have to grab all of them.
Yeah, I went down that list and got all of them that I could. So I got like High School of the Dead here. Then we saw that stupid butt Gatling one. Downloaded that
Jesus.
immediately, dude.
Is that what that one is, Keijo?
Yeah.
How many exclamation points are following that? 8?
It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes.
Ah, my estimation skills.
And
Unparalleled.
guess what?
What?
That's the official naming, so I made
fucking
sure
knew it would be.
to put the 8 exclamation points. Like,
Gotta have them.
like it has to be proper. I've got all King of the Hill on here,
Jesus.
and that's only
That's a big
77 for
Wow.
13 seasons, but it wasn't in HD. That was all.
Oh, right.
That was cut off in 4:3. That's all standard definition. Penny Dreadful was a show I always wanted to watch that I still haven't. I mean, it's over,
Just got it on tap here.
but like I want to watch it.
You truly are like, you're a mess, but you're the most organized mess I know.
Yeah, like I'm trying to make it look good. And then some of these aren't even complete. So like my TMNT from the 2012 series,
Uh-huh.
I was getting them as they aired, and that's when you get the watermarks and stuff. But like I
Okay.
kind of fell out of the show, and then it was like nobody had the shows that I'd missed uploaded, so there's just all of season 5 is missing.
Why do you keep this one? Do you want to delete it?
Well, no, I'd like to complete it, but also it has the entire 2003 series in there, plus the movie where they merge
Half
as well.
Shell Heroes Blast of the Past.
So like it's got its charm.
Okay.
This one. Plus, I like the Turtles. I'd watch the 2003 one day, maybe.
One day, maybe.
Maybe one day.
I wonder how many hours of media you have in here. Just
This
waiting.
is a lot. Because this is all of the Amazing Spider-Man show from when we were kids. Like,
My God.
I still have all of the X-Men show that ran for 5 years. Like, there's a lot. All of Big Bang Theory is in here.
My God.
That one actually, no, it's season 5 forward.
Okay.
So see, that one's not complete.
You don't even have season 10.
For what, Big Bang Theory? Nope,
Yeah.
I sure don't. So, like, who knows what's up with that one or how I watched it, But I do like that show. So yeah, Parasite, if you want to watch it, it's right here. And then I also
Hell
told
yeah.
you about Helsing. It's right here.
Yeah.
Now see, this is what's bad, because you go, well, you're going to buy the Blu-rays. I had the Blu-rays of this before I downloaded this one. This was just so that if I was on the drive, I could just go watch it.
Just on the drive. Okay.
That's my TV one. That one got corrupted by anime, which, as we know,
Corrupted.
there's too much anime for any one human to even attempt to watch.
Truly.
Then we got my movie one. This is the like oldest, like, original one that I had.
Okay.
Movie. So it's, of course...
Alphabetical.
And then there were some things that, like, I wanted grouped so that you didn't have to, like, search by letters. So, like, I have every Disney movie in one Disney spot.
My God.
Every DreamWorks movie is in just the DreamWorks one. And then I really wanted to get into Godzilla, so I got every Godzilla.
My God. How many is this? 32?
32. Yeah. It looks bad. Okay, so these are the
subtitles.
These are the subtitle files because they're all in Japanese, so I'm going to have to be able to understand it, you know. So I had to keep all those, and that's the whole thing I learned about back in the day is subtitle files. That's a whole subsection.
Why do you have the Passion of the Christ parceled out by itself?
This is the one that I was playing with the subtitle thing with.
Okay.
And I had discussed this movie with Taylor at a time, and she's never seen it, and I was like, it's worth seeing the one time to know, like, what that hype is about, like, when people discuss it.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it the once. I don't really want to see it again, but, like, I kind of want to see it again now to feel how different it feels to me, because this was 2004.
Yeah, we are far removed from the Passion of the Christ forever. I remember people were, like, passing out in the movie theater and shit.
Kelsey, dude. I had people, like, literally like, raised up. Like, they were standing and doing this whole thing. Like, speaking in tongues in my theater, dude.
My God.
It's the scariest movie experience I ever had. I legit was like, what is happening?
Christianity.
Mom. It freaked me out, dude. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a gory movie, so I liked it, you know.
Of course. Love to see Jesus all stabbed up.
So, like, this, you know, I say that, like, I've taken a lot of time with this, but there's things that have fallen by the wayside. Like this. This is from 2018 is when I first put this on here, and I've never just decided to move it and put it somewhere else, you know.
Okay.
I've just never fixed it up.
Yeah.
Like, it's all just done. And then the Marvel ones, I put in order that you're supposed to watch them. So, like, if I gave it to somebody, they'd know what order to go in. But I also haven't done it in a while because Endgame's not even in this thing. Because, like, I own them, and no one cared to watch them, so I was like, there's no reason to have them there. So this is actually probably more filled with my, like, Fantastic Fest type findings.
Yeah.
Like, this drive has more become, like, what are the weird fucking movies that I've heard about that, like, I'm gonna want to see? Like, Autopsy of Jane Doe.
You got Marble Hornets in here.
Yeah, I've got the Slender Man movie. And then there's ones like, Taylor will be like, I want to watch this. So, like, we get a movie. Like, August Rush. That's a movie that she just wanted to see. The Abyss, I want to see, but I'm kind of scared of it. If I have it, in case I get brave enough.
I've not heard of that one.
That's like an old James Cameron underwater movie.
Ooh, oh yeah, no thank you.
So, like,
is this the one he went, like, down into the Mariana Trench for?
No, because I saw that one, and it freaked me out.
I imagine. I don't like the ocean.
Actually, when Robin Williams had died, I wound up just getting, like, every single movie in his entire filmography. Like, every movie he's ever done is on this drive.
Oh my God.
So it's also kind of like we have just a lot of people's movies on here as well.
Yeah.
So this one's just a hodgepodge of shit. It's full of just franchises and stuff like that. And it's not even close to full, I don't think. This one still has so much space. It's got 500 gigs left.
Okay.
Which can hold about 1,000 movies.
Jesus.
Like, 1,000 movies of empty spaces on here. With all that's on here already.
Have you seen The Big Short?
Nope, that's why it's on here.
You should watch that one. I like it a lot. Maybe just because of my line of work, but I think it's just really well done.
Then, remember when I told you I found out about Ralph Bashki? He's the guy that made the first Rated X animated movie.
No, I don't remember this.
So, like, I'll read about movie people like that, and I'm like, I want to see that shit. So I downloaded his whole filmography, too. So he's got Fritz the Cat, which is like...
Oh, right, okay.
Remember I told you I, like, dabbled in Fritz the Cat one day at work, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I have, like, a bunch of his movies, and then, like, when we would do some review stuff, like, Contagion is still on here from when we did our Contagion review.
Yeah.
It's just
Crimson Peak.
Yeah, it's just got some stuff. Creature's a movie that like I remembered watching on TV back in the day, and I found it and I was like, I would like to watch that again.
Okay.
Well, I want Taylor to watch it.
Yeah. Cats Don't Dance, gotta have that.
Oh yeah, because I watched that on this drive like a lot.
God. You have too many, Robert.
Like, there's just a lot of good stuff on here, man. I mean, this isn't even full. Like, my problem was my anime drive, and then you guys thought that was like all my drives. This is still like got room to grow.
Okay.
I'm full of movies.
You are full of movies.
This is what
like
I do.
A piñata.
Yeah, here's all my Hostel movies.
Jesus.
My hentai commons.
I need you to put this hard drive away. I can't look at it anymore. It's baffling to me.
How about the fact that there's some with like nothing in them still? I got this V is solely for V for Vendetta, and I never get it.
Oh my god.
But I need it. So yeah, like I just have stuff. I thought you would be happy that I don't have all these Blu-rays instead.
Well, I guess that's a positive, isn't it?
So, I don't know. This is just my little side thing, I guess. Like, I'll have to bring this to mom night and we can put some movies on in the background or something.
Yeah. We'll put the thing on while we play the thing.
Okay.
Board game.
Do you want me to go clean this up a little bit and we'll come back?
Yes.
Okay. Alright, we're gonna get into this fucking shit before
Let's
I start
get into
buying
it.
shit, man.
Yeah, this pre-ramble's hefty.
I know, let's get it's a 40-minute pre-ramble, by the way.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Alright, you ready, dude?
Ready.
Okay.
I'm not ready. 1 second.
My God, dude. Alright, you ready?
I'm ready.
You fucking ready?
Fucking ready.
Get pumped! Let's pump you up! Alright, maybe we need to have a low-key show.
Shit.
A laughing show's
Sorry.
gonna kill you.
I know, God. I hate that, like, talking and laughing do this to me. And what is Yumtope but talking and laughing?
Pretty much.
If you folks enjoyed that bit of the pre-ramble, you can get the full bonus episode by going over to patreon.com/YMBTOAP and signing up to be a patron. The patrons are the best part of the show, for me personally, and probably for Robert, because they keep us on going. I don't know. I think a lot about how people want us in our lives.
Want to hear this?
Yeah. And I'm like, why? But we appreciate the heck out of you guys, and just for being tolerant and sweet while the show was, not its usual format.
I mean, they've experienced this before.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not too new.
Yeah. Over the course of 3 years, we've had 4 episodes where one of us didn't go. And
Yeah.
I think that's fucking cool. And I think the reason that we are able to do that is because we have the drive to want to impress you guys.
Yeah.
We just want you to like us. The patrons are the ones that are like, we want you guys to keep on coming back. We want you to be our supporters, and we will continue to do this forever until the end of time for you.
Yes.
If you want to be the ultimate supporter, you can get yourself some Yemtope gear over at the Yemtope Apparel store. Today I was wearing my Honeycrisp Crew t-shirt, or sweater, actually. It's a sweater. I wanted to wear it just because it's like comfy and cozy, but it's also really hot out, so I was just sweating in it.
Oh my God.
I like it a lot. It's cute. The link to the shop lives in the show notes. That is all I've got to say about that. So thank you again to all of our supporters. Let's get you on back to that regularly scheduled content.
Heavy sigh.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not gonna go deep. This is not a go deep topic.
I think it is, but I just don't have the energy.
I don't think it is right now, because a deep dive on this is the full show beginning to end.
Yeah.
I mean, this could literally go way longer.
Yeah. It's been a terrible time for just gun violence in America. Like, it's always a terrible time for gun violence in America, but we just had the 3rd worst school shooting of all time, not very far from where Robert and I live, and I cried all day just thinking about babies that didn't get to go home and kids that didn't get to have like their last day of school pictures from their parents. Parents that didn't get to pick up their kids. It fucking sucks. I know so many people that have children that age, and to think about them going to school a place where you're supposed to learn and have fun and have a good day.
And just feel at ease,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be anything. I mean, that's just like a day. That's like you going to work. I mean, you're just supposed to be able to go there and do what you got to do there.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have to worry about anything else.
School should be fun for children. It shouldn't be like gun drills every fucking day, and it sure as shit shouldn't be getting murdered. I hate that we continue to have this same conversation. It's exhausting. It's just a spiral that keeps going on. So, like, we have a mass shooting, and then there's all this, like, outcry of, oh, God, we need to do something. And then it's like, well, people are going to blame all these different things. Like, you sent me a video of Rich, what's his name?
Oh, Rich at Review Tech USA.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
He was talking about how the public is, again, blaming video games for mass shootings. And, like, there was a video game developer specifically who was like, games have to do better. You shouldn't ever show a realistic gun in a video game. And, like, that's not the fucking problem.
Yeah.
That is not even close to the problem. I have seen plenty of gun in my time in video games, and I still feel like I'm going to throw up. Yeah, whenever I think about a gun in person. Like, here in Meat Space, guns have consequences.
Yeah.
And in a video game, it's...
Space.
It's easy to separate out. I don't know if it's like... maybe it's not easy for everybody, but, like, it's not the problem. The problem is the gun. That's the problem. The ease at which American citizens can get guns. The ease at which anybody here in America can get a fucking gun.
Yeah.
The public continues to just blame random shit like video games. It's the mental health problem. It's an epidemic. Like, yeah, maybe it is a mental health problem. But at the same time, if he had this mental health issue and didn't have a gun, he wouldn't have killed almost 20 little kids.
Yeah.
It's this constant cycle where we blame people, we blame things, and then no laws happen, and then people kind of forget that it happened, and we go on until the next mass shooting happened.
See, I think that's the problem now. Like, we used to remember a lot more, but, like, I don't want to sound, like, super old, but, like, meme culture makes your perception of time drastically shorten. Like,
yes.
Like, a meme can come out a week ago, and you're like, that is old. Like, why are we even discussing this?
Well, the fact that the shootings are happening back to back to back, like, in the past 2 weeks, we've had 3 incredibly terrible events that have happened in the news. Like, we had that church that was shot up with the Asian community. We had the black folks that were killed in the fucking grocery store. Yeah. And we had these poor kids in elementary school. I hate to say that I'm desensitized to it, but it literally just is endless. You just hear the same shit over and over, and you're like, oh, another shooting. How many died this time? Yeah. And I hate that I feel that way, but it's just, you don't have time to grieve before the next shooting. Like, you're just, it's a constant barrage. It's just, when will the next one be? When will somebody do something about it? Never.
We're going back to blaming games, right? So somebody was like, yeah, like, what's going to happen? They're going to put, like, restrictions on games? And I was like, no. Because how long has that exact excuse been used? 30 years. Since...
For fucking ever.
Like, the 80s when games came out. Before it was really even guns in games. It was just games are violent. You're going to become violent.
Yeah, this plumber stepped on a Goomba. What's to stop you from stepping on a dog or whatever the fuck they think is going to happen?
I was telling my dad about game stuff, and he was like, is that just what games are? Like, it's just killing? And I was like, I mean, a lot of them.
There is a subsect of games that, you have to kill to move the plot forward, but not every single video game involves murder.
But Mario involves murder. I mean, like you said, you are stomping on a Goomba. Like, you basically, in the majority of games, I will say, you are killing people to progress forward.
I guess.
Dying Light, be it Elden Ring, like, you are walking through and ending things to move yourself forward.
But there's plenty of story-based games, puzzle games, where you're trying to save people and trying to, like, fix things.
But, like, sure, that's a thing, but, like, that's also implying that that's all people are playing. Because, like you said, there's a whole subsection of games. Because if we're saying games do it, what about all the Candy Crush people? Like, that's
not violent.
Yeah, that's people playing games. Oh, well,
you're stomping that candy out of existence.
They are making those candies explode. Teach them that explosions are good. Like,
What if people
like
get
that.
diabetes from playing too much Candy Crush? Like,
that argument got brought up, and it just kind of brings up the idea that nothing will literally change, because even the scapegoat of games being the problem, games have never had a consequence because of the discussion.
Yeah.
How long have we heard games are the cause, yet we've never seen games be affected by this stance or argument?
Yeah.
It doesn't change it, which is the infuriating part, because let's say they were the problem. It's still not changing. Like, it's not changing.
No, it's not.
And, I mean, before people go like, do you think they do? No. And when you look at all the studies, the worst study that found a link between game violence and real life violence, the one that, like, said the most that it did, they said, it's like saying that the shooter wore socks that day.
Right.
Like, it's literally undiscernible, the fact that they play games versus what happened. It is so minute that the most they could say is, I mean, no.
Yeah.
I mean, no.
The answer is no. Like a lot of shooters, I don't have any stats or anything, but a lot of shooters are young men. Like, boys aged, whatever, like 15 to 24. Like, that's your shooters right there. And that's also, like, the biggest demographic for video games.
Not anymore. Women lead the majority of gaming now.
The majority, really?
Yeah, I mean, there's coming more women gamers than men gamers.
Oh, better watch out, boys. We're here to take your guns.
Like, so now, that argument has been cemented in our brains. Gaming is for boys.
Right.
But when you look at it, I mean, it's 50-50. Really, it's like split down the middle, men and women playing games. It's not like it used to be. And women are starting to creep up as the majority, which I've seen TikToks of, like, girls doing, like, fake gamer boy stuff. Like, do you even really know what that is? Do you know what headset you're wearing, young man? And, like, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that script's going to flip one day. What are you guys going to do then? But, like, you can't even base it on that now.
Yeah.
Like,
it's miserable any way you look at it. Honestly, like, people just keep blaming random shit, and they're never right because no one is blaming guns.
Yeah.
And what does every single mass shooting have in common but the gun?
Because I was going to say, I do agree mental health plays a part. And, I mean, we know that mental health is not taken care of in this country.
Not here in America, yeah.
I was going to say, prime example, have you seen Joker? Did you see that movie?
I did not.
That is the premise of the movie. It is somebody who the system constantly fails until they break, which is not even a new story. That movie is based off of a Robert De Niro movie from, like, the 70s that
Really?
told the same fucking story.
Okay.
Yeah, you know the movie Taxi Driver? It's all like, you talking to me?
Yeah.
You talking to me?
Right.
Well, there ain't nobody here, so you must be talking to me. Everyone knows that line. That movie's Joker from 40 years ago.
Okay.
It's the same fucking plot. Like, it's not a new topic, but we're telling the story again because nobody's listening.
Yeah.
Like, we have to tell it again because it's not changing. It's not moving. The needle's not moving.
It just sucks to be like, it's essentially a giant toilet that we're just, like, spinning around the bowl.
Yeah. And that's
like,
why
forever and ever.
I like what you just said, because, like, fine. It could be games. Fine. It could be mental health. But like you said, what is the common denominator? That's math for you, man.
It sure is.
Common denominator says this is the one thing that's present in every single case.
Yeah.
There is one thing in those. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, I genuinely thought there were more rules in place, because I remember watching, like, episodes of The Simpsons back in the day, and Homer was buying a gun and had to wait, like, his 5 days. That's not a thing anymore.
No, there's
How
no, like,
did we
laws.
Degrade the ability?
It's fucking people like Greg Abbott who get into office and they're like, we should just remove a bunch of gun laws and make it easy to get guns and make it... I'm not going to get too heated. I can feel myself about to fucking boil over because I've just had it with fucking Greg Abbott. I'm so sick of his stupid ass. I cannot wait to vote him out of office one of these goddamn days and get Beto O'Rourke in there where he belongs. Did you see what Beto did after the shooting?
Where he crashed the meeting and then he got
the press conference
kicked out, but then he still did his stuff outside?
Yes, it was so impressive. So he was like in this like town hall or whatever the fuck city council meeting where Greg Abbott was like, he literally said like, it could have been worse. He said those words to people. He's like, as bad as the situation was, it could have been worse. And that's when Beto stood up and he was like, it is past time to start changing laws on this shit. You should have stopped it before all these other school shootings happened. And then he was carried out by like security or whatever, yelling the whole way, which is awesome. And then he is outside giving his own little press conference to this media gaggle that had just gathered around him. Yeah. And one of the coolest things about him is that he'll self-translate. So he's like talking in English and then repeating it in Spanish.
Oh, okay.
And then MSNBC cut away from the Greg Abbott to go to Beto Live, just to, like air him instead. I was like, this is amazing. It's just a fucking time that we live in, and I hate that I've become desensitized to shootings. Like, I cry when they happen, but I'm like, what's the word when you're just disenfranchised, I guess. Like, I feel removed from it. Like, I know that it's pessimistic and sad to say, but I just feel like we're not changing anything. So what's the fucking point of me trying to care?
That's where I think I'm at. Like, yeah, I can get mad about it and, say my take. Yeah. But me saying my take isn't changing it.
It's not doing anything. Like, we reach 30 viewers perhaps, so we're getting into the ears of people that are already like-minded as us anyway. Probably so. I feel like it's an echo chamber. So I'm just telling you guys, like, vote out the people that can't make the laws happen. Vote in the people that can make the laws happen. That's the best we can fucking do.
If you have a giant platform that you're affecting tons of people, you saying your take makes a difference. Yeah. Right? But as a normal standard person that lives here, voting is the way. How many times have we pushed, make sure your, voting stuff is in line, that you're ready to walk in and do whatever you need to do when the time comes. Yes. We have always pushed on this show, make sure you are vote ready.
Yes. So if you haven't checked lately, go do that. Get your documents in line.
I'll put a link in the show notes so people can click, because there's a site that you can go to that you just put in, like, your social, I think, and it'll go like, oh, yeah, you're set to vote. Because, like, I just had to redo mine because I moved to a different county. Yeah. So I got a driver's license, and I went ahead and did the voter stuff, too. So I'm already reset up. You got to do that stuff. Like, you got to be ready.
You got to do it.
Because if you show up day of... the only way we
can affect change.
Yeah, if you show up day of and you're not ready, it's such a process to be ready, and you usually have the one day to go vote,
Yeah. Because we don't get that day off because we're Americans.
I saw so many people during, like, the 2016 stuff just be turned away because they were like, well, your driver's license says this, and our system shows this. And they were like, well, how do I fix it? And they were like, I don't know, leave.
Yeah, basically. The people that are at the voting booths, they can't help you. No. They're volunteers. They're just there to, like, accept your ballots. Okay,
so when I was doing my driver's license stuff, there was a box to check that said, like, do you want to be, like, a volunteer vote person or something? And I think it's basically you saying, I want to be the people that run the voting ring.
Wow. I wondered how people got into that shit.
I think you volunteer, and it's almost like jury duty. I think, like, one comes up, you're on the volunteer list, they call you in.
I'll have to look into that.
So...
Not that I want to do it, I'm just curious.
That's my thing. I don't want to do it because people are going to get violent. Yeah, and probably hurt when you're like...
persnickety.
Yeah, because I bet someone's in line going like, you agree with me? And if you don't just say, yes, I do, sir, they're going to get mad, even if you really do. Yeah. Like, some people get rowdy, man.
Yep.
Politics makes the people rowdy.
Gets the blood riled up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a rough couple days. I mean, I've heard several people cry about this between home and work. Like, I've heard people crying at work. It's been a time.
It's been a time.
So...
Can we talk about something that's different, I don't know, less sad?
Yes, I would love to.
Okay. I got new dice supplies. That's something that's less sad.
That's good.
It's pretty cool shit. So,
see, you gotta find the bright spots. Like,
gotta find things that can just keep your mind occupied, don't you?
I mean, we can't forget, but like,
no, we can't forget.
If you're gonna you can't just wallow in it because
you can't dwell.
Yeah, you're not progressing it. Just living in that state, you know.
Yeah,
you got to keep you happy to help push it forward later when you're needed for it, you know.
Yeah, it's important to step back. Like, I have been off of social media, just off of it, because I cannot keep reading all these stories. But to keep myself occupied and happy, I bought new dice supplies.
Okay.
So dice making is a really tough process, and a lot of makers are just trying to find ways that, like, take the hurt out of it a little bit. Like,
okay.
My least favorite part is sanding down the die faces that get messed up in the mold process, because there's typically like 4 to 6 faces that you have to sand depending on how bad you made your dice.
Okay.
And it takes a long time, and you have to do it outside because it's a wet sanding process, and I use a pottery wheel, so it's like flinging the water actively.
Okay.
Like a centrifuge. So
I was going to ask, could you not put it in like a gem tumbler?
So what I did is I bought, it's actually supposed to be used to polish your ammo, which I don't know why you want to polish
Kelsey.
your bullets. I mean, really understand that.
Gotta make them look pretty, I guess.
I guess. But I bought an ammo tumbler.
Okay.
And I bought a bunch of little tiny ceramic beads and some
really
headlight polishing fluid.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been following like a bunch of different people on Instagram who are trying out this method, and it seems to be working. You just basically put all your dice in this big fucking bucket with all the ceramic media, and you put in headlight cleaning fluid and a little bit of water and a little bit of soap, and you just like let it shake the dice for like 12 hours, and they come out shiny.
Oh, cool.
And I bought all the stuff, so it was supposed to come in yesterday. I got the tumbler itself yesterday, but then the fucking media was delayed, so I got the media today.
Okay.
So I'm hoping over the weekend I can tumble some dice and make them look nice and pretty. I'm just really, really excited about it.
So basically, you need to really fuck up a dice intentionally to see how good it works.
I guess. I'm going to put some of my ugliest dice in there and see what I can do.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
really
looking forward to it.
I want to know how different it looks versus a gem tumbler, just because it's for ammo.
Yeah.
Like, I'm curious.
So the rock tumblers that you see on TikTok, I know there's like a whole section of TikTok that's full of those people that like tumble the rocks in those sideways barrels, right?
Yeah.
It's not a sideways barrel, so those ones rotate like on the y-axis.
Okay.
Whereas mine is like rumbling on the x-axis, if that makes sense.
So
it's just basically
it's
a,
more
like
just
a bowl.
like vibrating, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a bowl of stuff, and it just shakes it all, and all the little beads rub up against the dice, and then polish it. I'm excited.
I just want to know. I just want to know the outcome.
I'm gonna post some pictures whenever I get some dice polish and stuff, and show you guys the differences.
And I want to know what like gun nut dude that also makes dice was all like, I'm gonna throw it in my ammo one, and just tried it out for the first time.
Yeah, who knows?
I think it's cool that like they're still like pioneering in the hobby, because it's like, well, what if? Because there's got to be a better way. There's got to
be
fun.
A better way. Yeah, like I'm at the point where like dice are really, really fun to pour, to like make the actual sets of dice. That's the exciting part, and then you have to take them out and clean them, and the cleaning part is what I have so many sets that are just like waiting to be sanded and polished. So I'm just gonna fucking dump them in this tumbler and let it go.
Oh, I'm excited.
I'm excited too.
I want to see it. Well, I've been trying to keep occupied as well.
What are you occupying with?
I think this is my final update. I think we're done. You ready?
Tapping out?
Well, I beat Elden Ring.
No shit.
It's been 3 months.
Oh, fuck. Did it really come out 3 months ago? February?
Yeah, it came out late February.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, it was 3 months, like, to the day, almost.
Oh, God.
Like, I've been... And so, I mean, I haven't been, like, mainlining the story.
Yeah.
I've been, like, playing around, just getting, like, the things that I want and pushing the story to help me get to those places, right?
Yeah.
Well, then I was like, well, I need to do this. So I actually accidentally got into the ending. And I fought, like, one of the last dudes. And thankfully, I was talking to Ferdin, and he was like, oh, no, don't do that. Like, if you walk forward, like, if you walk through that next door, that's the last boss fight.
Oh,
and I was
wow.
like, oh, so at least I have the fast travel point that I can come to the end whenever I'm ready. And
well, that's nice.
I played for like another 2 weeks gathering like other little odds and ends of stuff that I was doing.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, oh, I've done like everything that I can do. So all I can do now is either jump off that cliff forever and just build up my level.
Uh-huh.
Or I can just fucking beat this game and be done.
Beat it.
So I was like, all right,
Beat it.
I'm going to beat it. Now, I'm a little bitch.
Okay.
The whole, like, last few things in this game, I have not done alone. You can call in up to 2 additional players to, like, fight in the fight with you.
Yeah.
I've been bringing, like, 3 people into every fucking fight.
Good. That's the way it's supposed to be played, right?
Hey, man, I'm allowed to do it, so I do it.
Friendship is magic.
And Taylor saw me do one, and she was like, the internet's such a magical place, because we beat this boss, and all 3 of us formed a triangle and just, like, teabagged around his dead body.
Oh, my God.
Like, they started, so I was like, well, let me jump in, because, like, when you beat a boss, they fade away back to their game world within, like, 10 seconds, maybe. So, like, you don't get a lot of time. They, like, went in, started doing it, and I was like, oh, we're doing that? Yeah. And so I started doing it. I've learned a lot about, like, the etiquette for how Souls bros do the shit.
Yeah.
I always bow to people when they first come into my world. That's, like, a thing that I've heard is, like, a very nice thing. And I've heard if it's, like, your first time in a boss, which they can tell because there's normally not, like, a wall to go into the boss fight, if you skip the cutscene for the boss, they'll leave you high and dry.
Oh.
Like, you are disrespecting this game, and they'll fucking leave you. So I always make sure to, like, sit through the cutscene. I try to, like, be the way I'm supposed to be so that they don't leave me behind. And one guy did leave me because I guess I took too long to find a second person. So he just fucking left, and I was like, well, and I gotta wait for more spawn points to show up.
Damn.
It's like the last boss. I guess not many people were, like, online waiting to be able to help you.
Okay.
And the few people that were there, people were snatching up because, like, there'd be, like, 10 gold things that would show up. And I'd grab one and be like, oh, that person looks cool. So I'd click it, and then it'd be like, they can't be brought in. I'm like, okay, this one. And they're like, they are unable to summon. And I would do that.
Oh, my God.
I fought the last boss with, like, a full set of people for 2.5 hours.
God.
2.5 hours. I started at 12:30 that night and was like, I'm not stopping until I'm done with this fucking game. Because
That's a long time.
Done with this.
To fight one boss.
Well, it's actually a double boss fight. You fight the first one, and then you get a whole second boss, but when you die, you do the first one again, too. Like, you have to do both in one go. I'm so mad because usually when you go into a boss, you've never seen it before, so you're not really sure of, like, the stuff in it, right?
Yeah.
I found a guy... Alright, I know you're not into too much of, like, Elden Ring TikTok, but have you heard of Let Me Solo Her?
No.
One of the hardest bosses in the game, the girl on, like, the little Field of Flowers place, Melania or whatever. You've probably seen her, and you'll be like, I've seen that thing. She's, like, the hardest boss in, like, the whole game.
Okay.
There's a person on the PC version of it that's called Let Me Solo Her. And they are naked, so they just have, like, no armor, no nothing.
Oh my God.
And they wear a pot on their head so you can't ever see their face. And they beat her all by themselves.
Oh my God.
They don't want you to help. Let me solo her. And it, like, he's become, like, God, like he's a straight up meme. Like, he's gonna be, like, forever tied to this game.
Jesus.
There's, like, artwork of this character, all this stuff. Like, it's a big deal in the community.
That's awesome.
So I was playing it, and I was at the last boss, and there was one that said, I solo Radigan or whatever, like the final boss dude. And I was like, let's see what you got, man. So I brought in that guy, and it worked. So I went in, and I stayed back, and he was fucking kicking that dude's ass alone. And I was so excited. I was like, I don't have to do fucking nothing. This is great. So we beat him, get to the second boss, and there was movesets I didn't know about, and I died.
Oh.
And I never found that person again.
Sad.
So I had to keep finding new people, and sometimes we'd get not very far at all, and we'd all die.
Fuck.
Or I would die because I was getting too brave and stupid. But finally, me and these two guys went in. One person died in the first fight, so it was just me and this one dude in the last one the whole time. And I was playing it smart, man. I was being smart. And we finally fucking did it. I'm done with this game.
Nice.
Done with this game, finally. No more.
Drop the controller. Walk away.
I did it, and I kind of was like, I can be ejected from the PlayStation now. We're done.
Oh my god. Finally, right?
Like, I think I'm good.
Good.
I mean, like, I wanted to get my level up to a certain point, like where I was at, like, the soft cap of 40 everywhere, but I'm like, you know what? I'm good.
The end now.
Yeah, I'm good. I think I'm good. And no, I will not be like, oh, what was Demon Souls like? Like, I'm not going back to any other one.
Okay, that's fair.
I played Sekiro for a little bit because I thought that would be the one that I would get into first.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. I might do Bloodborne only because it's such a horror game. Like, it's built around, like, gory type stuff. And I just like gore enough, so I might play that one.
Yeah.
But I still don't think so. Like, I think I've experienced what I needed to of the franchise. I get it now. This game's a flat-out 10 out of 10.
Okay, good.
It's not exactly everyone's cup of tea gameplay-wise, but, like...
Yeah.
I haven't played a game this fleshed out in, I don't know, probably since PlayStation 2 times.
Wow.
Like, most games need patches to feel correct, or there's really not that much content. I've beaten the game at 110 hours, and I've probably touched 25% of what this game has to offer.
Good lord.
You can get lost. Like, what game puts that level of effort into anything like that now?
Yeah, you don't see that as often.
This game is great. It is great. But it has not made me love playing them. And I'm good.
That's fair.
I can put this to bed and be done.
It's over. The end.
It's the end.
Speaking of endings, one of my favorite podcasts, not this one of my favorite podcasts that isn't Yemtope.
Damn, because I was about to be like, Yemtope?
No, you don't want this one to be Yemtope. You don't want the end tope, Jesus. You don't want this one to be Yemtope because the podcast I'm talking about is ending, and I'm so sad. It's one of the first podcasts that I ever listened to. It's called Reply All. It's like...
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
you've
a
been
beast
talking
of a
about that for a long time.
podcast.
Yeah.
It's been on for 7 years, dude.
My favorite podcast was on for 10 years.
God.
And when I quit listening during COVID, like 2020 and stuff, when I kind of tried to get back, they had a final show in that time, and I never even knew, so they've been gone already.
It hurts. I hate it. I hate that it's over. Like, this one had such a choppy, slow, bad death, too, because, like, it's a podcast that they do, like, stories. They do different stories each week, but they all center around, like, the internet. So it's, like, something that's happening on the internet, something that involves the internet. Just a lot of, like, good human stories.
Okay.
And there was a problem with, like, unionization. Like, Spotify ended up buying their company, and some of the people within the team supported unionization of the company, and some of them didn't. And the ones who didn't got a lot of, like, flack from people just, like, who were listening. Like, why aren't you supporting the unionization and all that? And, like, one of the co-hosts ended up quitting, and I was like, that sucks. But then they replaced him with this other guy that I really like, and now it's just, it has, the show
like
has
it
still
lost
been,
its feeling.
Yeah, the show has still been, like, really, really good, and I've enjoyed every episode, but, like, it's clearly no longer what it originally was, and I think the hosts kind of felt that. They were like, we should end this and start new projects.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, what is that like to be in that?
Yeah.
It gives me anxiety to think about, like, one day this podcast could end of no fault of our own. Like, maybe, I don't know, maybe we get bought up by Spotify and one of us is against the union or something.
They're like, hey, we really want to offer Kelsey like $1 million for a solo show because you fucking suck, bro. We need you out of here. And I just get fired.
I couldn't do a solo show. I'd just sit here. I honestly don't know what Yimto would
I really
look like.
thought you were just going to be quiet and I was going to leave like 10 seconds of blank space in here.
Welcome to the Kelsey solo show where I just sit here and look at the microphone.
Like, mine was like a company. Like, it was like a company's pod. So they were, it was called the Giant Bomb Cast. And they were part of the Giant Beast Cast.
Okay.
Well, okay, no. So mine was the Giant Beast Cast, which is part of Giant Bomb, the, like, online, like, they're kind of like Kotaku and stuff. They're like a gaming
internet magazine
news outlet. They kind of do more video stuff.
Okay.
Like, they're not even like IG. I think they're part of IGN, or they were employees of IGN that went and started their own little news outlet.
Yeah.
But, like, they do more, like, community video-based stuff. And so they were doing podcasts for the longest time, and my favorite one was the Giant Beast Cast. Because they have one that's, like, more company-branded called, like, Giant Bomb.
Uh-huh.
And I hated that one. But the Giant Beast Cast was fun. Like, I loved that. I just loved everything about that one. They had, like, a weird, just, like, feel about it, and people changed on it all the time because they would leave the company or be hired up that they're like, well, I don't have time to do the podcast because now I'm, like, running the editorial section of our thing. So it's
just like a rotating cast of hosts?
A little bit.
Weird.
I mean, like, maybe every year or so. Or, like, 6 months if somebody would come in and then leave, you know?
Imagine. Like, it's so weird.
Well, because that one's not hosts. It's the show for the company. So it's like the company show. So who's going to put on this thing for the company? It's not even about the people, you know?
Right. And that's all our show is. Like, we've talked about this multiple times.
Ours is the people.
The one common thread that all of our shows have is just you and me. Like, everything is different every single show, which is why we have the title of our show. You must be thinking of another podcast.
Yeah.
Literally, the only thing that ever stays the same is just you and me. And I'm just so sad for, like, the death of the show because, like, the co-hosts went separate ways. I don't know if they're still friends. It gives me sadness to wonder if they're still talking or not.
Because when you said, why do podcasts end? I mean, I didn't think it was going to be one, like, reply all.
Yeah.
Because I was like, when we went to Podcast Movement, most podcasts do end because most of the time it's like, we're only here for, like, a 20 spread. Like,
yeah, or it's people that jump in and they're like, oh, we're not millionaires in the first 10 episodes, we're quitting.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know so many were like, oh, like, this is a podcast about this story. So we're going to, like, go deep on it for, like, 10 shows, and then this show ends.
Drop it.
And then we do another story. Like, I didn't know that was how, like, the majority of them go. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So when you were like, why do they end? I was like, most of them end. But then you busted out, like, literally the name that you've told me about since we started listening to fucking podcasts, dude.
They're literally...
You kind of shook me.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons I wanted to get into podcasting because, like, those co-hosts, in my mind, they're like, their friendship was so good, and it was the reason I kept coming back to the show, and...
Like, that's like if Lore went away, man.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, like, if Lore goes away, there's no Aaron Mahnke.
Ugh,
I'll lose my shit, man. But, like... That's his own passion project. Like, if he decides he doesn't have the passion for it, it ends. Like, I mean, it's just for him.
I guess that's why podcasts end. Somebody loses the passion.
I guess so. They're just like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Never lose the passion with me.
You know, I was watching a YouTube because, all right, I'm a little out of the podcast game, even though I make a fucking podcast. I'm watching, like, a lot of YouTube stuff right now.
Yeah.
And I just thought you might find this interesting. There's a guy, the topic's not important. It's the fact that this guy was on another channel talking about a video that he had made. And he was like, when I made that video, I had like 60 subscribers or something. And he was like, it wasn't until... And then he said, then I kind of didn't know what to do, so I let this channel kind of just sit for 5 months. He's like, I didn't upload anything. And then he was like, and then like Doom Eternal came out, and I was like, well, I kind of want to talk about that. So I started making videos, and the Doom stuff really took off.
Yeah.
And then they found this older video, and that like, because people came for the Doom stuff, and he got bigger, he got exposed more, and they found an older one, and it literally blew him up out of nowhere.
Oh my God.
But he made that not under the same pretense of where he was at the time. So people watched it like, oh, well, he's always been big. No, he had like a 5-month thing where he was like, I don't know if I'll ever do this again.
God.
Like, it's just weird how it all works behind the scenes.
Yeah.
We went to Podcast Movement, guys. Do you know how little structure is behind the act of podcasting?
So little.
Like, you think like a Joe Rogan has like quite the structure. I guarantee that is on, like, the razor's edge, dude. Like, at any point, if somebody... I mean, right now, it's probably just what it is because it makes money. So people are invested because it makes them money.
And Spotify's like, you have to keep making episodes because it makes us money.
Exactly. So now it's, like, a force thing.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, as soon as, like, some kind of contract runs out, he could be like, I hated doing this whole time, and literally just stop.
Yeah, like, I could have just not come back from COVID. I could have been like, actually, my life is better without Yentope. It's not. Yeah. It was just so unstructured. Like, oh, man,
I am free to watch more anime now.
I felt so lost for the 2 weeks I wasn't recording. I was like, what do I do with my time?
I've said it 1,000 times, but, like, it blows my mind when I think about how we have edited a show every week for 3 years.
Yes.
There's never been a time that it's just not around.
It's constantly on my mind. Like, it's not a thing that I'm not thinking about ever.
Yeah.
Like, like, everything that happens to me, I'm like, I can put this in the podcast as a story. I'm constantly at our Discord just being like, here's a new thing that we can talk about next week. Here's something for Friday Roundup.
Pretty much, yeah.
We're always making new business plans and new, like, things.
It's even changed how I even approach what to bring it. Like, I used to go like, ooh, I'm going to take that in because that's interesting. And now I'm just like, I just got shit.
Yeah.
I have things. We're good now. Like, remember I used to keep, like, a Google Keep of, like, different things that happened?
Yeah.
There's one that I wrote in there because I was like, I just found that interesting at the time, and we never talked about it. And I looked at it one day like, why did I even fucking write it in there? I basically was sitting at work. I remember when I wrote it down, though.
Okay.
I was sitting at a light, and they were doing some road construction, and the road cones had, like, a print on it that said, like, DL, light, and whatever. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I, like, wrote it down, because I was like, I looked up the company and was like, this company's whole thing is that they just put out road cones for different people's construction things. That's weird to me.
That is kind of weird that there's just one company that's like, you want cones? We got them.
That's their company. And I was like, what a weird thing. And I wrote it down like 3 years ago, guys. I just now brought it up for no fucking reason. But, like, it sat in there as just an idea. Now we do it so different. You know, like, I don't write things... Well, I mean, we do our topic suggestions thing, so we don't forget stuff that happened to us. But
yeah,
I don't write it in my phone as, like, some kind of, like, okay, I have an itinerary for
personal
you now.
diary.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, Yimtop is always going to change. We're always going to have different structure, different stuff. But I feel like at the core of the show, there will always be you and me, and that is comforting to me.
Well, that was the whole idea.
That's the whole idea. That's the premise of the show.
Literally the premise of the show, which I know everybody hated when we would pitch it at people at Podcast Movement.
They all hated it.
Was we talk about random shit because we feel like it, and they'd be like, oh, well...
That's not interesting.
Why?
Sorry.
Yeah,
it's just a window into our friendship is what this show is. That's literally all it is.
Well, like, there's so many things that already are that. And why are those not weird, you know? Like,
yeah.
It was just weird to hear about these two people that they didn't know doing it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, once it becomes a thing, like, that's all.
If we were celebrities, it would be the most popular show.
People would love it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all good mythical morning is. It's these two guys that are friends that were like, we're going to fucking make a show together, and they just do weird shit together.
Yep.
That's exactly what that show is, and that is immensely popular. And I bet if you pitched that show, but said their names, they'd be like, that sounds like a good idea. And I'm like, that's what we do. But different, you know?
It's just different.
Podcasting is such a
loose meat
wild
in a bag.
west, dude. Like, there's nothing here. It's
no
just
structure, just vibes.
It's just all whatever. And hopefully people like your whatever, and then it keeps going, you know?
Basically.
Like, for me, it was No Sleep that got me into it. The idea of this man going, these creepy stories are cool, I'd like to read them to people, to now it's like, I have a music guy, and I have, like, a host of friends that always chime in for different roles, and we just have a fun time reading spooky stories and making this.
And they tour around the country.
Yeah, it's so different than what it was.
Yeah.
But all of them start as a passion.
Yeah.
You know? I don't even think most TV shows start as a passion. It's like, what will people watch?
Yeah, or like, what story do we want to tell?
I don't think TV shows... I think some TV shows have a passion to them. But podcast is all passion.
Yeah.
Like, people aren't making a podcast without a passion behind it. That's just... There's no, like... I mean, mine was kind of a business thing.
There are some, like, corporate shill podcasts that are just, like...
Yeah.
You know,
but
paid to do stuff.
I would think I think those are, like, your sports ones. Because, like, remember we sat in that one, and he was like, yeah, like, this company brought us back in because our show was, like, kind of popular. And they were like, hey, people kind of know you, and we need a sports podcast, so let's just do it with you. It's not like they picked them because they liked them, even. They were just like, people, you're, like, mildly
you have a microphone.
Recognizable, you know? But even watching YouTube, you know how many fucking YouTubes are built around guesting?
Guesting? Like going on somebody else's YouTubes?
Or like getting somebody on yours.
Oh, yeah, like hot ones. Like, it's just famous people eat hot wings.
Well, the whole thing we were told was get guests. Always find somebody different to talk to. Do you know how many YouTubes do it too?
But, like, the thing is, when we did a listener survey after Podcast Movement, everyone was like, we don't want guests. Just want Robert and Kelsey.
I still want... There's, like, a couple that I still want. Like, I still have a couple things that, like... I'm like, I really just want to talk to this because I just want to talk to them. It's not even about... Because we tried to make it educational before. Like, let's pick somebody with a thing that people don't know.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I just want to talk to this person because I find it interesting.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I have two that I can think of right now that, like, I really want to have happen. And remember, we were even going to get, like, a furry on the show and stuff at one point.
We kept trying, and they were too shy.
You know what? I'm going to randomly bring that up to the person that said they had somebody for me and be like, that's been 2 years. Where they at?
Where's your furry?
And the one that we found on TikTok, she didn't even post anything anymore. So it's like,
what happened?
Well, that faded, you know.
Did you unfur?
Like, it's such a different thing now. It's weird to think how easily they can change.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I thought you were gonna be like, oh, it's some podcast about this. I did not expect you to say Reply All. That's
one of the podcast giants. Yeah.
That's a name.
It's a name.
That's like saying, like, My Favorite Murder Goes Away.
Don't say that.
I don't listen to that one, so that'd be fine.
Well, are you ready to end this show, not this podcast?
Yeah, this is a episode finale, not a series finale.
Yeah.
All right, guys, please tell your friends about us. Help us grow this lovely audience. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite platform so you never miss an episode, because we release weekly every Monday, 3 years strong. We are looking forward to every Monday forever. No matter what happens, we always got that going. If you love that about us, why don't you go on out there to your podcast place of choice, give us a nice review and a high rating. That would mean a lot to us to help us get to lots more ears for a lot more people's Mondays.
And while you're out there on the internet spreading the good word, you can find us and friend us on all the social media. We are at YMBTOAP. That stands for You Must Be Thinking of Another Podcast. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Did we stream Twitch in May?
No.
I had COVID. I'm sorry.
I wasn't going to bring it up so that you wouldn't worry about it, but you just figured it out yourself.
Thank you for not bringing it up while I was like super sick. I would have felt really bad.
I was not going to be like, hey, did you want to do something? Like, hey, we didn't do this.
I just come here in a blanket and I just sit here while you play a game.
No, I was totally like, I'm watching so much other shit right now. Like, I'm cool if one doesn't happen this month. So I just kind of let it fester somewhere.
That's fine. Thanks, patrons, for supporting us, even though we slip up sometimes. We love you so much. You can also email us, of course. Of course, you can email us. If you were wondering if you could email us, you can. It's ymbtoap@gmail.com. We want that listener mail. Tell us, oh God, I don't know, guys. Tell us anything. Tell us what you're doing to stay sane in these crazy, terrible times. Tell us,
for real.
Just tell us a fun fact that you just want to spread. Tell us a secret, a riddle.
Ooh, a secret. Ooh, a secret. Our theme song is The Grim Reaper Blows the Horn by Faraj. Check him out on YouTube. Share the love. He keeps us sane with them bumping beats. Go out there and listen to all of them. They're phenomenal. And as always, thanks for listening and tune in next time to get the answer to that burning question. Am I really done with Elden Ring?
We had one more important sound we wanted you to hear.
I'm gonna sit here and cough. Holy shit. Oh, Christ, something finally came out. Oh, I feel a little bit better. I really should have taken my inhaler before this recording. I don't know why I didn't. Oh, COVID has made my asthma so much worse. I'm just out of breath all the time, like some old degenerate.